Lorwyn is arguably one of the most confusing and confounding sets in the entirety of Magic's canon, considering it is the only plane that was entirely run by the Fae at one point. It isn't an easy place to find either, thanks to where it sits in Dominia, obscured in Aether, and as a result we see very strange phenomena occur on the plane. We cannot talk about Lorwyn without also discussing Shadowmoor. On Lorwyn, the passing of day and night is a manipulatable factor that can change the plane completely. At night, Lorwyn becomes Shadowmoor, a chaotic and more dangerous place, as not only does the environment change, those who call this plane home do as well. Peaceful flame can turn into dangerous cinders. King giants turn cruel and unreasonable. Those who undergo the change do not remember what happened previously. To mourning and eventide is to change your identity without choice and forget. For a time, there were few who were immune to these auroras, as they took to being called, and were easily plotted out to occur every 300 years or so by Queen Una of the Fae, as a means to keep herself from losing her memories. However, it would be the multiverse itself that threw a wrench in this, as the mending resulted in the Great Aurora occurring earlier than she anticipated. Despite never experiencing the effects of the Aurora, Una had planned for this. If she wouldn't be able to keep her memories, she would put them in someone safe. Keyword, someone, a vessel for safekeeping, an elf by the name of Marlen of Morningsong, a clone of her, but provided Una's memories. Her trickery was quickly found out and put a stop to. As a result, the day and night cycle returned to Lorwyn Shadowmoor to very mixed results. It was not a clean transition, as one moment half the village would transform without warning, and crossing the threshold would immediately tide you. Communications broke down in many villages, but eventually there was a balancing out as transformations became more gentle and even stabilized with the emergence of the twin world souls. New problems came with certain villages engrossed in both day and night, eventually coming to be what we know as the Eclipsed Realms. Then we have the Phyrexian invasion, which completely obliterated whatever semblance of balance the plane had reached within the last 40 years. In Lorwyn, elves were the primary targets for completion and eventually looked to Kithkin and Fae to taint water supplies. Meanwhile, Shadowmoor was an absolute shit show. This is where the true war for the plane was fought, as all 9 species of every stripe took part in the defense and suffered massive losses. The Kithkin especially. The invasion left its mark as Lorwyn became more isolationist and excluded outsiders. With the invasion counteracted, Lorwyn sits where it did after the arrival of Irdu and Elisu, still dealing with the Eclipsed Realms, but with a massive power vacuum and new groups entering the picture. A fragile peace has come into being, with each species leveraging what they do best to create new, untold lanes of prosperity.